Hello and welcome back to part 3 of how to code a 2-player soccer game using Tynker. In part 2, we learned how to code the soccer ball and both the red and blue team. In this video, we're going to learn how to code the power gauge, which I will call pink dot, a scoreboard, and a graphic that shows up when the red or blue team wins. So without further ado, let's get right into it. The first thing you're going to want to do is click Add Actor, Drawing Tool, and then select this tool right here, and let's make a pink dot. Or it can be whatever color you want. Just make sure to give it a name, which will be whatever color you chose, pink, and then dot after, and click save. Alright, so let's begin to code. So the first thing you're going to want to grab is an on start block. Scroll down to the pen section. Grab the set pen size 2 block and let's set the pen size to 50, and that's a good number. And then now let's look for the looks tab, and we're going to drag out the hide block. So we want to make sure that when the game starts, you can't see the power gauge immediately. We only want to see it when you click on your player. So now we're going to want to scroll back up to Event Blocks tab, and we're going to drag up this When I Receive block. So click on this little fill-in section and select Go Dot. And let's go back to Looks and drag out the Show block. Go over here to the Motion tab, and let's drag out the Go To Mouse Pointer block. And then find the Variables tab and bring out this Which Person variable. Next, go to this Pen tab and find the Pen Down block. So what this block is saying right now is when you select your little players over here, then the pen size, the pen will begin to show, and it'll make sure that you can aim well and play the game correctly. Now scroll up and go to the Control tab and grab this repeat loop. Now go over to Operators and look for the not little block right here. Drag that in here. Now we want to find the Sensing tab and grab the Mouse Down block, which is right here. Drag that in there. So what this is saying is that as long as you have your mouse click down on the player, the pen little power gauge will continue to show. So now we're going to go back to the pen section and grab a clear block. Go back to Motion and grab another Go To block. And then we're going to pick the same variable, which was Which Person. It's right here. Now we're going to need another motion block, so go back to that tab and find the glide, this one, glide 1 seconds to X coordinate and Y coordinate. Drag that out. So we're going to put this to a very low number, so let's go 0.0000001, something like that. And then we want these coordinates to be wherever your cursor is. So go back to the Sensing tab and find the mouse X and Y. Place the mouse X in the X coordinate spot and the mouse Y in the Y coordinate spot. We want this glide number to be very low, so when you are sliding your cursor around, the power gauge moves around very freely. And then this mouse X and mouse Y coordinate blocks, they just make sure that the power gauge will follow your cursor wherever you drag it to. Now once again, let's go find the Pen tab. And this time we're going to grab the Set Pen Color 2 block drag that under this glide block, and then go back up to operators, and find this basic operator block, 0 minus block, drag that in there. Now we're also going to grab this one, and drag that into the second slot. Let's change some of these numbers, so this will be 40. And we will set this one to 20. So now let's go back to the Sensing tab and find the distance to blink block. And once again, we're going to scroll up to variables and select the which person block. This just makes sure that the power gauge is set to a certain player when you drag it around. So now we're going to want to go back to the pen tab and find the pen up block, drag out the clear block. So you want these two blocks to be outside of this loop right here. Let's go to looks again and find the hide block. So this just makes sure that after you release your mouse from the player that the power gauge will disappear, just like up here. So now let's code the scoreboard. So click add actor, drawing tool, and for this one I just made a really tiny green dot because I didn't want it to be too noticeable, because if it's too big then it might end up blocking certain players or the ball. So let's just name this point system. Save. Start coding this. And let's drag this down here. Alright. So find the event block section. Find on start block. Now we want to make sure that the text is visible. So find the pen tab. Let's find the set font to block here, and then the font doesn't really matter, but we don't want it to be too small, so I guess let's just choose 36. And then we also want to set the font color. Again, this doesn't really matter, but you're not really going to want to pick something that's too close to the color of the field, which would be green. Let's just pick black. Alright. So now let's go find another loop in the control section, which would be find the forever control block right here. So now we're going to put a set label to block inside this forever loop. So let's go down to looks, and let's find the set label to block. Here it is. Okay, so the first one we will set as blue. This is the score, the plus button, and then in this one we want a variable. So go up to variables and find the blue scores question mark and place that in there. Click plus again. This one we'll put red. Once again hit the plus button and let's grab this red scores question mark variable. Plus again. Let's put a comma there. Another plus. And then let's find the turns left variable. And hit plus one last time and type in turns left. So this block right here is going to tell the code what to show in this little score box that we have. So we have blue and then blue scores, which will be the number of times blue scores, same with red. And then the turns left variable, which will calculate how many turns you have left. and that would be right next to this turns left sign. So next, let's find another on start block. And then find the physics tab, and we're looking for the set active block and the set static block. Make sure active is false, and we'll set static to true. This is because we do not want our little scoreboard moving around the screen. So now go back up to event blocks and find the when I receive block. Let's just drag out 2 of these because we're going to need another one. And this first one, put blue goal, and the second one will be red goal. Now that we have those, go back up to the variables tab, and then find this change block, 1 for each. And since this is blue goals, select this blue scores, red goal, red scores. And then we're going to need another control block for them. So let's find the if block right here. No, sorry, the if then block, which is right here, yes. Need 2 of those as well. And then go over to operators and grab this boolean, place it in that little false section in the if block, and then go back to variables and grab this sudden death question mark variable and put 1 in each, and set this as 1. So what this block is saying is if these scores are the same, then it will go into sudden death, and then if the score at sudden death becomes 1, then one team will win. And then we are going to make sure that the code knows that right now by going to event blocks, and then find this broadcast block. Let's type in blue win, and since this is red, red win. And that's it for the scoreboard. So now let's code the final part of this game, which will be the graphic that shows up when either the red or blue team wins. Okay, so you're going to want to click this add actor button, drawing tool. Alright, and then, so first let's draw the little blue wins graphic. So let's just draw blue wins. Sorry, my handwriting is not the best. And then we want to add a costume, which will be red wins. Red wins. Alright, remember to click save. Let's go back and begin to code. So like the scoreboard, we don't want these, like the power gauge, we don't want this graphic to show up right as the game starts. So we're going to grab an on start block, go down to looks, and let's grab the hide block. So grab a go to front block, and then find this set size to block. So at the beginning we don't want this to be visible, so we're going to do set size to 0. So this will make sure that you can't see it. And then physics, and find the set active and set static blocks. So once again, this is just going to make sure that the graphic will not move around for any reason. Keep set active false and set static true. So now go over to this functions tab and click create function, and then we're going to want this one to be increase size. Great. Now we have this new block. Okay, so when a team scores, we're going to want this to show up. So this is what this block will do. We set the size of the original sign to 0%. So this will make sure that it increases so that you can see it. Alright, so now find the physics tab and find the stop physics block. Go to looks and find the show block again. Go to variables and find the set to block. Drag that out and set good game to 1. And then we're going to find this block in animation, and it'll be this scale by block, scale by 0% in 1 second, and name it block. Drag that out and change this percentage to 100. This should ensure that after the game ends, which is this good game function, that the sign will show up. Alright, so go back up to event blocks and find the when I receive block, when I receive blue win. Go to looks and we're going to switch costume to blank. Blank, I think you can see right here, blank being the blue wins sign. And then go back to variables and find this set block, and then set turn to 0 because the game's over, so we would like that turn on the scoreboard to be 0. And go back to functions and bring up this increase size block that we created. So we're going to want to do the exact same thing except for red. So events, when I receive, go back down to looks, grab the switch costume block, variables, the set block, and back up to functions, or down to functions, and this increase size block that we made. So we're going to want to set turn to 0, just like in the blue win. Now let's change this to red win, because this one red wins, and we're going to switch costume to blank 1, which would be the red win sign. Now go up to event blocks and find this when blank occurs block and drag that out. So go to operators and let's go to this boolean block and let's grab this one, blank is less than blank, drag that out. Go to variables and let's find the turns left. So when turns left is less than 1 occurs, then that means the game is over. So now go to the control tab and grab the wait blank seconds block right here under delay. And we're going to set this to a really small number again, so like 0.0001 again, because we don't want there to be too much delay. And then find an if then block. And then, sorry, that is the wrong block. We want this if then block with the else. So drag that out. And then go up to operators and grab this block right here. The blank is greater than blank block. Drag that into false. And then go back to variables. And let's grab the blue scores, drag it into the first section, and red scores, drag that in the second section. Then we'll need another event block. We'll grab this broadcast one and place that right under there. So when the blue score is greater than the red score, then we're going to broadcast blue win. And now click else again. And then we're going to grab that same boolean block. And now we're going to do the same thing as we did for blue, but for red. So go to variables. red score, blue score, event blocks, and broadcast. And then for this one, we'll put red win. So if red score is greater than blue score, then red win. So we have this last little else right here. We're going to drag out another broadcast block, and we'll put sudden death. Sudden death. So what this is saying is if the blue score is not greater than the red score, and the red score is not greater than the blue score, then we're going to want to broadcast sudden death. So to do that, so to code sudden death, let's grab a when I receive block, and let's fill in sudden death right here. And then let's find the broadcast block again, and we're going to broadcast goal. Now let's go to variables and find the set block. Go to control, find the forever block, and go back to variables, and let's grab this set to block and put it in this forever block. So we'll set sudden death to 1, and we're going to make sure that turns left right here is set to 0. So in sudden death, you don't have turns, you just keep on shooting the ball into the goal until someone wins. So remember to click save, because we have finished with the game. So now you can click play. Let's go to full screen. And then your 2-player soccer game should be complete. That was how to code a 2-player soccer game with Tynker. I hope that you all learned something and enjoyed this video. And then, thanks for watching, and make sure to tune into our channel to find other videos